The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
You are listening to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with a sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Sports Network. Listen in as Brent and Dave invite you to belly up to the bar with them to talk about everything in the world of sports, just like you would do at your favorite watering hole. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans. So belly up to the bar with us, grab a beverage, and let's get into it.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer sports talking a whole lot more. Episode number 355, brought to you by SeatGeek.com. The SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod over there at SeatGeek.com and save yourself $20 on their first purchase. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all their great articles and other great podcasts, such as the Corner Booth Podcast, Rise to the Occasion, no credentials required, and my favorite, my guys over there at the Crap Brewed Sports on Tuesday nights. Make sure you check out Mike and the guys over there at Crap Brewed. And thank you very much from all of us here at 1420 World Headquarters for listening to the show and following us along on Twitter and everything else, guys. Thank you very much for that. Dave, you were down in the great state of Montana once again, getting all holidayed up and everything else. How was things down in Montana?
It was nice and low key, and that was what the plan was. It little sketchy roads going down. It is that time of year. Not gonna bitch. So we just hung out. We did some Christmas shopping, picked up our Amazon packages, and watched a movie and came home on Sunday. And it was a nice little trip. Good to get away.
There you go. We had Deanne's Christmas party for the I'm not going to say who it was for, but for her place of employment there on Saturday night. And let's just say that there's some people who work at her place of employment who aren't the most seasoned vets when it comes to consuming adult beverages, especially when they're free.
They must be young, because when I was young in my 20s, like free bar meant I'm getting my money's worth, and that means
they got their money's worth. They didn't hold her very well is what I'm getting at. They didn't
conduct themselves accordingly.
They're 30 and younger, and they were having a good time. Like, I'm not besmirching at all. They were having a good time and a well-deserved Christmas party. Those guys worked pretty hard over there, but yeah, it was. There were some situations where they were chucking some thunder down the old toilet bowl a little bit there at the place there. Yeah.
How many people? Like 50?
I was 35, 40. Yeah, there was 35.
Oh, okay, so it's an intimate affair.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it was a good time, and they had the music playlist was done already. It was just on Spotify, so it wasn't the DJ or anything. So, but they picked their own. It was fun. The meal was good, but it was you could tell that they don't indulge very often, but when they do, they make sure to get their money's worth.
Well, I'm glad they had fun and no one got hurt. I hope no relationships got ruined, because you hear those stories about things that happened at the office Christmas party. When
everybody whoever they came with, they went home with, and that was they're a very close group of co-workers there, and everybody gets along really well. No, it was a good event. It was just a nice way to wrap up their year. It was fun. Like it was like I just go, like I just sit there and I talk. What I speak when spoken to, compared to when it's my events where I speak when not spoken to. So it was actually quite a bit different for me. So no, it was a good time. But yeah, it was
buffet style or served?
Pardon me?
The meal buffet style or
buffet? But there was separate courses and stuff. No, it was fantastic. I think it was a really, really good meal. Like
any KFC?
There was no KFC.
Oh man, I'm disappointed. I was really hoping for you for a little.
That's what we're probably having for the Redlinsky family Christmas, because we're in the middle of a move, so that might be happening in about 14 days from right now, actually, when it all said and done. Dave, when you were down in Montana on Saturday afternoon, in the news that Shohei Ohtani signed a contract with the Dodgers. Actually, I want to talk to you a little bit. You're not a Jays guy by any means, but you're a Twitter guy and everything else. What were your thoughts on Friday afternoon from about 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time? Check your local listings. When there was the plane ride was happening, Ohtani was allegedly on it. What was your train of thought when that was all happening?
Well, here's the thing. I'm the perfect guinea pig for this because we wanted to jet out early. You want to drive it in as much daylight as you can. It being the season that it is, 3-hour drive ahead of you to Montana. I was at work and I wasn't able to duck out until about 3:30. I didn't, and I got home, shit, shower, shave, packed the car, and let's get the fuck out of here. So it wasn't until we left city limits that Jasper said to me from the back seat, "Hey, Dad, did you hear the Jays signed Ohtani?" And I said, "They did not."
I thought they did.
And he says, "Oh, yeah, where'd you hear that?" He goes, "On my MLB app." Really? And
no, it was legit. It was not passing, but it was I can't remember one of the heavy hitters. He said he's on the airplane, blah blah blah. It's a done deal, and all the stories were coming about. I'm sorry to interrupt, but yeah, it was unreal.
Well, yeah, and then so Kaylee, I just handed her my phone and I go like, "Fucking tell me this, read it to me." She goes, "I can't find it. It says he signed. Like, for how much? Doesn't say." And I said, "I don't know then, buddy. I don't know until we see a number, then I'm not going to believe this." But it was like, when we got to the house in Montana, I looked and like he was right. Like it was the MLB app. Like he gets notifications from that. And then then we came to the conclusion, I don't think it's final, which doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And then so that's where I was. I was in the dark even more than I normally am for something like that, which actually means I didn't get hoodwinked like 95% of Jays fans here in Canada. There was some uproar on Saturday.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, we'll fast forward to Saturday there, and then the around 2:00 our time, I think it was 2 or 3:00, whatever it was. The news came about that he got 10 at 70, and I just what? Because I know we've talked about in the past, and I thought he was going to be $1 billion guy. I'm turns out it's actually $1 billion Canadian that he got when it comes down to it. Like it's the 70 million American, but he without pitching, and he was not going to pitch next year in the second Tommy John. I thought okay, let's cool it back from the $1 billion that I thought to about maybe 50. Because that was the rumors that I was reading everywhere. There was 50, and then I heard that somebody was willing to go because there was the Dodgers, the Giants, the Cubs, the Jays, and Atlanta, I think, that were all kind of kicking around there. Oh no, the Angels were still kind of in there, but if I knew he wasn't going back to the Angels because they would have had that done already. Was my thought. And then when it came out that he got 10 at 70, I just what? I couldn't believe it. I was because you put it in perspective and you started thinking of you started reading it because instantly Twitter was ablaze and everything else, and the belly up chat was all nuts, and you go, $700 million, like every American could get $1.5 million and he'd still have money left over, and that's American, not Canadians.
Not $1.5 million, $1.50. There's 350 million Americans, right? So that's a buck each, right?
But just the money, like it's just fucking.
It's gross. It's gross. The dollar figure 70 mil. Like we talked about it last week. We just touched upon it, like how much money he makes in endorsements. So like he's fine 50. That way, even without.
I read today 50 a year.
Yeah, that's what I read as well. And then also, but as an owner, he's not worth that much on the field as an actual baseball product, but the amount of revenue he's going to generate, like by season ticket sales and then novelty sales. Well, yeah, like every person in the stands, aside from their seat, there's an extra $100, right? While like two beer and a hot dog. Well, like not $100, but let's say $50, just as a conservative estimate. So every seat you sell, you got all this revenue generated. He's going to generate revenue for the team that he plays for.
Well, and then the Japanese market, now people are going to be buying the Dodger stuff because he's huge in Japan, obviously, right? And like it's an I don't want to say it's an off because now we've heard some things today. We'll get off this in half a second here. But we heard some things say how he's only going to get paid $2 They're going to divert salary, which we knew they were going to, but it's only going to be getting paid $2. I don't want to get into the economics and the accountants because I don't know enough how it all works. It doesn't make sense to my little brain, but if he was getting that $70 million, that's not a baseball move. That is not a baseball move by any means for a guy who's going to be a DH probably full time in about 3 or 4 years. Really, he's 29 years old already. He's probably not going to pitch because he already had the second Tommy John. It's not like he's not all these Tommy John guys like Nate Eovaldi last forever, right? So you have a guy that's going to be a relatively a DH for the last probably 6 years, 5 years anyways of this contract. He probably won't pitch past 2029, realistically.
Well,
right?
Traditionally speaking, yeah, like what you said, he's 28.
So
yeah, like so your peak power years are done 33, 34. And so if you squint, you're halfway done. And then so there's 5 years. Like look at how Albert Pujols was in this last 3 years, right? It was gross, and he took that money from the Angels, and why wouldn't you? Like when someone
I have nothing against the Dodgers. I have nothing against Ohtani. Nothing. Somebody offered, they had it. They know they're going to make money. Ohtani said, "Yeah, I'll take it." I got nothing against any of the parties because anyone listening to our show or anybody listening to any other show, if somebody offered you $700 million, you would hit your pants first and then sign the contract.
Yes.
Yep, done.
That's it. Like just get. Well, we haven't really fucking $700 million. Like, show me where to fucking sign it. I'll sign it twice. Yeah, you know, like it's a no-brainer, and it's obviously there's people a lot smarter than us that are doing these calculations. But then again, if Ohtani doesn't figure out how to pitch after he recuperates from this last Tommy John, how are the Dodgers going to win a World Series? Like, because
not. I had a breaking little news conference there on Saturday afternoon, so I was kind of revved up about it. This doesn't make them a better baseball team. A guy can only hit, and he's going to play DH 154 times. He'll have some nights off. So 4 or 5 at bats tonight this year. So that's 1 year off that contract. It's $70 million. They're a better baseball team, but they're not a better baseball team, if that makes any sense.
They're not $70 million better.
No.
They're $20 million better. I don't know.
I never thought about this, Dave, but like you say that, and it's more and more obvious that this deal was 100% a baseball or a business decision and not a baseball decision.
It's a team economic decision.
Yeah.
Far more than a product on the field.
The Guggenheim Group, they said, we're going to make money off of this guy because the $70 million or whatever years deferred payments and blah, 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 whatever it's going to be. This was not to make their team. Are they a better team? Yeah, their DH position is going to hit better. There's no getting around that. But not $70 million better. Not a fucking chance.
Really, and then also this is one of those things too, where he is the unicorn, where he can put up all-star numbers as a starting pitcher if he does recuperate. But this isn't one of the things like they do in football and hockey of like setting the market. He is the market. There is no product like him, and so this. The PA has to be really happy for him, like because the PA is always happy when someone grabs their bag, but no agent is able to come to the owners and say, hey, this is a comparable. It's not a comparable. It's not
because you're not dealing with that Japanese market that's just a moneymaker, right? You're
right.
Not. Like Soto's going to get a big bag of dough from whoever signs him in the offseason. He already turned down $450 last year, I think it was from the Nationals out there in Washington. Then they traded him off the whole bit. So it's like Scott Boras can't walk up to whoever in the next offseason and say, "Well, Ohtani got 70, we want 80. He's a better player and he's younger and on and on." Well, that's not how it works, right?
Yeah, go fuck
and so it's just it's. I don't want to say. It was kind of a bad day for baseball because it kind of exposed that we knew like we knew, because we're not complete idiots. We got a little bit of age on us, but it showed how much of a business it actually is. Like, it's just a business.
Yeah, well, and it just illuminated the fact that it's just not about the productivity from the player from the athletic standpoint, right? This guy is a product in and of himself, right? He's a brand that they wanted to be affiliated with. When he does all these ads for whatever he does in Japan, for his shoes, for his booze, for whatever,
Dodger jersey on.
They want a Dodger jersey on that.
Dodger hat, Dodger whatever. Like, it's,
you bet. That's what they want. They're paying for international branding far more than they're paying for.
The people buying the MLB app over there, which they already were probably, but now it's with the Dodger games and the advertising that they can get. The advertising that they can get inside Dodger Stadium now from the Japanese markets. I remember when Ichiro was in Seattle, same kind of thing, right? They had different Japanese advertising in there. No, it's crazy.
And the luxury seats, right? And the travel packages for Japanese, Asian crazy baseball fans, right?
Yeah,
they're going to make bank on that, and they're going to be there. That bank is going to be there to be made for at least 5 years.
$700 million.
And then maybe in 10 years, $70 million. Is it? Here's a question: in 10 years, when his contract is done, will he be a top 10 paid player in 10 years from now?
No.
So someone's going to be making 80, 90 million by
some kid who's in high school right now is going to be making more. Think about that.
How far does he get in the contract before he's no longer highest paid?
Year 8.
Year 8. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just, I just thought of that, but that's so heads and far.
Well, you think about it. A-Rod got that $25 million a year deal back in 2001, I think it was, or 2000.
I think it was even earlier. It was when I was living in Calgary. The Rangers signed him to that.
Yeah.
Right?
So let's say 98, 99, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, holy fuck, that's crazy. And then it went to 30, and then pitchers were getting 35, and now Judge got 40, whatever, and then Trout got 40 because Trout's 7-8 years into his $40 million deal, right? Like, it's gone up a lot lately, right? Like, it's escalated quickly, in my opinion, in the last 10 years, where it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like basketball guys are getting 60. Well, basketball guys are getting 60.
Yeah,
right.
So if you know their name in the NBA, well, especially you and I, they're making 35 plus.
Yeah.
So it's the salaries in sport like that is just gross. It's gross, and you know what, Ohtani, and if anyone had to get this kind of salary, I'm glad it is Ohtani, because he is the unicorn. He is doing something. He's a generational player in the true sense of the word. You don't have a generational player every fucking draft in every fucking sport. I'm tired of hearing that fucking phrase, generational player. Generational players happen every 15 to 20 years.
You wonder how many crazy baseball dads out there right now are making sure their kids are 2-position players, right? Hitters and pitchers.
Oh,
now.
You bet.
Right?
Well, yeah.
Compared to a pitcher only or a hitter, or a defensive guy. No, he can do both. He can do both.
Well, right? Because we've said it before, right? All the best pitchers were good hitters in Little League, right?
Yeah.
Until they get to college or whatever.
Or until whatever American League. I'm going to concentrate on pitching. I'm going to concentrate on defense, whatever it is. So now every dad out there is like, you're playing both. $700 million. See what he got? And giving coaches shit for not letting their kid hit and pitch.
You bet, because
I guarantee it.
When that recruiter comes and sits for coffee and Fig Newtons in the front room, dad is saying, or mom is saying, yeah, no, he's doing both. Well, we think his future really lies as a pitcher.
No, you can do
he's
both.
Doing both. Okay, yeah. Well, so-and-so are waiting for Coach Blow from Jigsaw State here. Yeah. And he said he's going to be able to do both. So
unbelievable. Anyways,
yeah, it's going to be interesting going forward. You're right.
Like, because there was at that Christmas party on Saturday night there, like a couple 3 hours after it got announced, There are some guys who follow sports a lot, and then they know that we do the podcast and everything else, so they kind of got my thoughts on it. And they go, like 700? I said, yeah, man, 700. Like, holy. Because it just doesn't compute. Like, it just doesn't. You just can't.
It's so much more than anybody ever. And, you know, it makes me just laugh how the Jays fans were just taken for a ride. This was a total crafted plan by the agent. I don't know who was just like, come on, Dodgers. Like, maybe they were at 62 and a half. Yeah. And then like, fuck, 62 and a half, and we're living in the smog. Like, the Jays are going to give us 60, and, you know, cost of living, East Coast travel. Fuck that. We're going to go there because he has his Japan money waiting for him. And then they set this whole thing 500. Up.
I heard 500, and then there's one or two teams willing to go to 6.
Yeah,
is what I was everywhere, right? And then, but basically the going rate was 500, and that escalated from Tuesday. Tuesday was at 5, and it went to 700 on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, that's like whoever did this for Ohtani, like his agent, like kudos to you. You just got him $10 to $15 million extra per
year. Per year.
Yeah, you just milked the Dodgers for $150 million.
That and everybody said he was going to anyways.
Yes.
That's what's the most messed up thing is the Dodgers outbid themselves when everybody knew he was going there 2 years ago.
And then it just became a matter of a thing. We got to prove to the Dodgers that someone else is an actual viable suitor. Yeah. And then like the Blue Jays, who the fuck do we know on the Blue Jays? We don't know anybody on the Blue Jays. Right. And then like there's no owner meeting because they're owned by a corporation, right? They're owned by Rogers. So like you can't, like, is there one guy you can phone at Rogers? So it's,
well, it would have been Atkins and the other guy, but yeah.
Yeah. But like, you know, they're not the ones signing a check for that. They got to go upstairs, and then Rogers is going to have an emergency board of governors meeting.
Yeah, I think I think you're right. I think that the Dodgers got played a lot by the Ohtani group, and then the pawn was the Jays. I believe that wholeheartedly.
And millions of Canadians are heartbroken.
Yeah, there's people getting their fucking their Jays jerseys fucking silk screen with Ohtani on the back of it.
I imagine there's a couple on order, like cancel order, go to cart.
I guarantee there was people at fucking Jersey City here in Lethbridge getting them done already. Every time there's a Jersey City, there's an Ohtani. What number does he wear? I don't give a shit. But there's there's Ohtani jerseys in someone's basement, or they actually they had them made, and then Saturday night when they were drinking their Molson, they fucking burned them watching the Leafs game on Saturday night. That's probably what happened.
Cancel
fuck
order.
him.
Cancel
fuck
order,
that. Fucking Ohtani. They burned that jersey they had for 30 years. Guaranteed.
But it was good. It's something to talk about, and you know what? As a Jays fan, at least people were talking about your team.
And the thing is, like, it doesn't matter. But he'll never play up to that number. Like, there's no way possible.
Zero chance.
Like, he'd have to break home run records every year and win a Cy Young. Okay, what would be a success for Ohtani, like, or for the Dodgers? Like, World Series?
He needs
in Dodger fans' eyes, what would be a success for this guy?
A member
for their team.
3 World Series, being MVP at least once, NL MVP 4 times, and 1 Cy Young.
Never going to happen.
I don't think so. But you know,
for that kind of money, it's kind of got to.
That's kind of what that's for. Like we said, it's not about the product on the field anymore.
If the $70 million was for on the field. That's what a Dodger fan should expect. But the $70 million is not an on the field product.
And it's impossible, right? Like there almost has to be a Cy Young, and there has to be a World Series MVP.
There has to be at least 2 World Championships.
Minimum. Yeah, and then with at least 2 or 3 NL MVPs in there too.
It's crazy. It's so fucking
Good work if you can do it, right?
Anyways, let's take a little break here, then we'll get into our Week 14 NFL 14-20 style look back, review, whatever we call it. I can't remember what we call it. Got a lot going on.
Oh, bad week for the podcast family again. Bad week.
Oh, I'm the biggest fraud in football right now. I'm so upset with myself. Anyway, it's a 14-20 Sports Bar podcast for Beer Sports Talking a whole lot more. This thing is brought to you by SeatGeek.com and the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save some $20 on your first purchase.
Are you thinking of going to a game or a concert in the coming days ahead, or do you already have tickets and want to upgrade where you're sitting? It's simple. Go to SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. They have tickets for all sports going on right now, as well as concert tickets to shows throughout North America. And to make things even better, use promo code 1420pod, that's 1420pod, and receive $20 off your first purchase. Once again, that's promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app.
14-20 Sports Bar podcast for Beer Sports Talking a whole lot more. NFL Week 14 in review, 14-20 style. Frauds, favorites, F that team. We'll start swearing about that in half a second. But there was, Dave, I'm going to say the biggest fraud in football right now is probably me. I'm licking the jar like we talked about in that football pool. Nobody wants to hear about anybody's football pool. But man, oh man, I thought I had her, and then now I'm still 3 out with 4 weeks to go. 2 games happen tonight, and I'm not doing so good right now on those. But it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating, especially when you're close, right? Like like I said before, I've never won one of these things, and now I'm actually watching more. So I might be more of a detriment that I'm watching more than just doing what I was doing for the first 13 weeks.
And that's exactly what it is. Like once you get there close, especially
once you think you're smart, you're not.
Yeah, and then you gotta 2-3 games to make up to get the big pot of gold, because in that pool, like it is. There's 50 people in it. Winner gets 60% of the pot. Like that's or 50% of the pot. That's it. It's obviously not life-changing money, but it's really gonna make a weekend go smooth. That's
she'll be it's $1,000, man. I don't take that.
And just being the best out of 50 people is
bragging rights.
Cool. Yeah, and it's a 4-month thing. Like you can't. I'm so far gone. It's like I don't have a chance. But so it's like Sunday on a golf tournament. We're on Sunday now, and like you can see the leaders, but you got some ground to make up, and you only have a couple people to leapfrog. It's not like you gotta.
Well, that's just it. People. Like, and then because I got looking at it last night a little bit, and I was fucking mad about a couple of them. Let's not talk about a whole bunch, but then I saw how you did, and I went, motherfucker! If I would have had what Dave's score was compared to what mine was for the week, I'd be in first place in this motherfucker right now. So maybe
but I'm 12 games behind.
Maybe we'll make a deal, and you can pick my week 14 through 18 for us, and we'll see how that goes.
I do not want that. It's not even pressure. Like fuck that. I don't want that blame. I'll take all the glory, but like I don't want to get blamed for nothing.
The get off the football pool thing, well, it's gonna be interesting to watch the whole thing.
It's fun, and I'm rooting for you.
Yeah,
let's not 14-20 jinx it either. So
it ain't over yet. We're not gonna say he's got a thing. Every time we say 14-20, this team's gonna do something. They usually end up doing really, really bad. It's just one of those deals. So let's not christen me a champion by any means yet. But yesterday, an interesting turn of events. Everybody knows that the story about the offside that was called properly in my opinion, and Mahomes got all pissed off. The Travis Kelce lateral, the whole bit. The game was great. It was a decent football game with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. But the talk afterwards, Dave, was Kelce whispering, going to the handshake with Josh Allen. He was whispering in his ear. Can you believe that fucking call or whatever?
That was Mahomes, not Kelsey. Mahomes.
Sorry.
And it was no whisper. It was
the verbiage and everything else. Was like, you know what, dude? You lost. Like you put up 17 points against a team that hasn't been great this year, and you guys haven't been playing very well. You're only actually one game up on your Denver Broncos right now. Is it time for I guess, has the luster fucking kind of been taken off the shine of Patrick Mahomes the last little bit this season? It just seems like he's just kind of they're good, but they're not great, and they're 7-5 or 8-6, whatever it is. It's like, you know what? And then last night's a little hissy fit that the referees made the right call that they don't always make, but they made it last night, and there's a lot of stuff behind it. But is the luster kind of wearing off that guy a little bit?
In my mind, yes. Not so much. And I talked to a guy, someone that I work with, but he works at one of the businesses that I offer my services to, and him and I always on Monday we talk fantasy football and this kind of thing, and we touched upon it, and he was of the mindset that, you know, well, they don't always call that, and why would they call it there? I go, but like, why is he such a pissy pants? Like, you know, he knows he's the best. I think this tirade last night, instead of referee, say Vontez Scantling and Kadarius Toney. He's so fucking frustrated that he doesn't have a money receiver. All he has is Travis Kelsey, and he has these two fucking smelts that can't catch the fucking ball, make stupid mistakes like that Kadarius Toney. Like how well, he was only like, well, they never call that, but no one has ever said, but he wasn't offside. Well, the refs usually tell him, well, you got to, like, from what I read, you got to look towards the ref, and if you're offside, the ref will say, hey, back it off. Like, honestly, you're going to let 4 inches fuck up your game? And never mind the drop passes that Kadarius Toney always.
That's the problem you got is when your cap starts hitting your team, right? Which it is now, and his salary's gone up. All of a sudden, you have to pay a little bit less for everybody else on the field. So when you're getting paid this, they can't have this anymore. Right? It's one of those things. Like, you can't have a top line guys all over the field anymore because you're making 50 whatever million bucks a year. So whose fault is it?
And they did it, you know, the Chiefs did it. Right. They won the Super Bowl last year with a lick and a promise with all those rookies on defense. And their defense is still playing quite well. It's the offense, right? I don't know what Kadarius Toney and Scantling are making, but it's all I do know is it's too much. There's rookies out there making a fucking difference that don't make these mistakes. And then maybe that's why people like Toney are available on the free agent market, because they keep doing stupid things. And that's a stupid fucking thing. Like, I get it. You're mad. I get it. The flag isn't thrown all the time. But, you know, on the flip side of things, you know, you got gifted. Gifted's a little strong. You got a huge fucking break last year in the Super Bowl with that holding, right? And then now you're going to bitch about a regular season game where your guy is fucking lined up offside.
It was a penalty.
It's a penalty. Like that, that one, there's so much to criticize the NFL referees this year. A ton. Every game. There's a ton to piss and moan about.
They call a lot of penalties. They do.
They get one right, and now they're assholes. Come on.
And the thing is, and I don't think the criticism is right a lot of times, because it's such a fine line between what's holding and what's not, and what's pass interference and what's not. It goes so quick, and you get one chance to throw the flag, and you fucking go with it, right? But the thing about that is that it's like with that call yesterday, if like Bills fans are like, yeah, it was a penalty. Like, yeah, here it is. Like if it was a penalty that the Chiefs were gifted and didn't get caught, they'd be like, no, we got away with one there. Right. So when it's a call, it's a call. Like when it's so for Mahomes and even Andy Reid was bitching about, he retracted his comments pretty quickly afterwards because he was going to get fined $250 million or whatever it was going to be. But
he has to have his quarterbacks back.
Yeah, no, he does. But the thing is, never, ever, like, you can say a few things about officiating and refereeing, but if you're looking for a call to win a game, we had people on our show before. When you leave it in an official's hands, you weren't going to win that fucking game. Like, it's not the official's fault that it was a 3-point game or a 4-point game at that point. You guys were missing passes. The referee didn't drop a pass. The referee didn't have an offside. The referee didn't do this, that, and the other thing. If you leave in the referee's hands, you were fucked to begin with.
Well, and this isn't the referee's hand. This is a self-inflicted wound. If Kadarius Toney is 1 foot back, then the Chiefs win that game. That's it. Like, there was no contact. There was no.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Right. Like, this is they took it away from us. No, you took it away from yourself. And the real travesty in all this thing is, regardless of the fact that the Chiefs lost that game, that was one of the most brilliant fucking plays I've seen on an NFL field since the Mile High Miracle. It was awesome. I don't know if they drew that up. But with Kelce throwing that pass like 15, 20 yards.
Mahomes did say, he said, I hope that's still that, because it was such a great play. I still hope it's in Travis Kelce's Hall of Fame video or montage. Or they're
maybe there, but it's not going to go in NFL's films with like Steve Sable, RIP, one of the greatest.
It's what was kind of like you talk about the Music City Miracle, like it was actually because of Frank Wycheck, who threw that ball across the field. He passed away yesterday, so it's kind of a throwback, like literally a throwback to that throwback. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, it was Mahomes. They got to start winning games. Like they got to start winning games.
And these are the tools in your toolbox. Yeah, fucking carve your statue. Like that's it. Like, we don't have the ultra fine sandpaper. We don't have the fucking drill bits. We don't have diamond tips. Like, here, you're good. Do it old school, buddy.
There were some dog games yesterday. One that was a dog to be. It was a dog the whole thing, but there was one that was the Jets and the Texans. No score after the first or whatever it was. It was terrible, like, absolutely terrible. And then the MILF hunter there himself, Zach Wilson, he started
went off.
When he had 30 points in the second half, throwing bombs and kissing moms the whole bit, and he was good. Like, he was really good yesterday, and now let's be a podcast fucking conspiracy theory look ahead thing. Let's just say if the Jets beat Miami next week, Miami's a very good football team. Let's say if Zach Wilson finds a way for the Jets to win next week, and then the week after, I don't know who they play 2 weeks from now, but let's say that Aaron Rodgers is raring to go. Do you put Rodgers in, or do you stick with Zach Wilson?
If Zach Wilson is on a 3-game heater, you keep him in. You got to, because it's not only that it's a 3-game heater. They're a couple games back, right? There's not only if
they wouldn't have went with Zach Boyle on the ass, they might be in a playoff spot right now.
Wow, that's not true though either, because Zach Wilson he lost that job. Like, he was putrid, and it's not just a matter of being 2 games back. It's the 7 teams you got to jump.
Yeah,
I want to. Yeah, so tap the brakes on that. Like, in the division, it's all wild card, because division, they're not catching Buffalo. Well, they might catch Buffalo. They're only 2 games back of Buffalo, but they're not catching Miami. And there's a lot of, I want to say there's 6 or 7 teams at 7-6.
Well, that's what the NFL wants, right?
And there's too bad we don't have the CFB here, right? Because then you can fucking take the Steelers and Browns out of there, and then put and the Colts, and then maybe put in the Broncos, Chiefs, and Bills. And then the surging Jets might be a nice play on the ass end.
Yeah, I was thinking about that Zach Wilson thing today, and I kind of started to laugh to myself. I was thinking about that fucking Keanu Reeves movie, The Replacements, there, when they ended the strike there. Remember that? And then Falco got Keanu Reeves got left out of the whole thing, and then they brought him out at a halftime, and Zach Wilson. It just kind of made me laugh. It's like, because you have to, like, if Rodgers is ready to go, he's on the sidelines. He's like, "You're paying me $50 million. You probably should put me in." No, like, it's just one of those things.
But if you're on a streak, you don't fuck with the streak.
No, I'm with you 100%. But will they? No.
Well, and like, you know, like, this is just now. Just because he can take reps in practice doesn't mean he's game ready, right?
It's still a week. It's still 2 weeks away. Like, Wilson's it's the starter next week. So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I'm just conspiracy.
I think it would be absolutely asinine.
But that's what the Jets do, though. They're awesome.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, it's not like we're talking about a franchise with a long history of sane decisions
of good decisions.
Yeah,
put him in. He hasn't played 7 weeks or 14 weeks. No, but he's ready. He's still better.
Walked without a limp in fucking 8 weeks, right? Like, so.
No, it's quite funny. Big win. Baltimore had a big win yesterday. I watched that game quite intently, actually. Overtime against the Rams, whatever, but it's still a win. A win's a win. That team's really good. Like, that Baltimore team is really good, and they find ways to win. And when you get to the this was a crazy stat that I read today. Like, we're not a stats podcast by any means, but Lamar Jackson is 19-1 versus the NFC in his career.
That's okay.
That's not bad. So you get to the Super Bowl game. That's not a bad thing to have on your side.
Oh, you know, they also mentioned that when Baltimore gets to the big game, they win. And so, and that's why a couple weeks ago or whatever, they've been the horse that I've been riding here for a little bit. This weekend too, on account of being in Montana, I was able to watch the first quarter of the early games, and then we drove home, and then I watched the last half of the Denver game, and then so all my watching happened in the after game show. And you know, on that NFL Network, get some better guys running your fucking highlight reels. These guys were terrible. They were so bad I didn't even fucking take their names on the NFL Network.
Yeah, it's not very good. NFL Network, MLB Network, they're pretty bare minimum. It is.
Oh,
NHL Network, same. Like, it's weird that they put their name behind that. It's it is odd. It is strange. Yeah, it is strange.
Okay, but sorry, that's a side, Dave. I think, but like the other game that caught my eye, and maybe you watched this, Lloyd Christmas and his Vegas Raiders.
Oh my!
How bad was that game to watch? Did you?
We went over to Browns for just for a little bite to eat yesterday afternoon. About 2. What time those were on, and just like what I said, can you put an NFL just something? There was the Oilers game was on, so that was on one TV. I said, you put an NFL game. Yeah, they hit the button. I said, okay, what? Because I just wanted to see the ticker. It was like, I didn't care. It's like, there's no score in the fourth quarter here. That's bad. that goes to show that there is a lack of quality quarterbacks in the National Football League. Because that was the only 3-0 indoor game in NFL history. It's not like they were trugging through the mud or the snow or anything else. They're in the fucking desert of Las Vegas inside.
Air conditioned comfort.
Whatever you need, it's here. 3 points on a fucking interception field goal late in the game. Oh,
how bad are those teams? Like, so that's not a defensive struggle, right?
No, that's just bad teams.
Yeah. It's awful. Like that.
Because that kid from Minnesota, didn't he start the season with Arizona?
That's that Lou Dobbs, something like that. Josh Dobbs.
Yeah. We won't know his name this time next year.
No, he's going to be in the league. He's the much desired backup that we've talked about. Like, so he's going to be your new Teddy Bridgewater kind of thing.
He's a backup next week. There's no getting around that. Because he got yanked in the third quarter, I think it was. He passed he had 3 interceptions, I think it was. Holy fuck.
Fuck.
They were showing the stat lines. I was like, what the fuck? Because that's 2 dog games in 2 weeks. Because there was a 6-3 and then a 3-0.
Well, that was, the Pats Chargers game. right? With
Oh,
6-3.
and nobody likes that. Like anybody who says
windy and rainy, yeah.
like anybody who says they like that defensive struggle, smash mouth football, they're full of shit. That's not entertaining. When it's
That's
when when there are stops, it's entertaining. But those games are not entertaining. Oh, the no fucking quarterback league, yeah, NFL.
Yeah, because that's just offenses like we fucking suck, so we're gonna run it every time. Like, so there's no chances for turnovers. There's no like taking shots downfield. There's none of that because they're so goddamn conservative because they know they suck so bad that they're not gonna do anything to turn the ball over. So now it's just like a fucking high school game.
Horrific.
So it's
like absolutely
brutal.
horrific.
Yeah, it was just awful. But I laugh because I don't like Minnesota and I hate the Raiders. So like,
those two teams going nowhere quick. Yeah. It's one of those things. Let's who's really good? Really good. No, it's actually it's part of my frauds. You know who's really good? Dallas.
I knew you were gonna say the 1 stars. You love them. You're gonna give. You Dak can't Prescott, wait to get back up.
Okay, Dak Prescott. Okay, MVP candidates for me. I got Prescott. I got McCaffrey, and Big Cock Brock right now.
What about Hill and Tyreek Hill in Miami?
Yeah. He gets overshadowed by his other guys. Right? He's really good.
Oh yeah, he's a difference maker for sure. No, right, he turns a 10-yard in route into 70 yards.
But was that win by Dallas last night? Was that a situation where Philly's just not that good? They're overrated. Because we'll get to our 3 Fs. The frauds, favorites, and fuck that team. My frauds, other than me being the fraudulent fucking football fan that I pretend to be, and that fucking football pool I don't want to talk about anymore till this time next week. But my frauds right now, when they were put up against two teams who were good, they were shitty. The Philadelphia Eagles are fucking frauds. They got smoked 2 weeks in a row.
I pointed out, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but I said I think Detroit is not as good as their record. And so, I don't know if this is the second week in a row I've called Detroit a fraud, but they're a fraud because they got beat up by Green Bay. And that's one of the games that's in our pick'em pool that I picked. Like, the Bears are a better team than sorry, I say Green Bay. Yeah, the Bears manhandled them. Like, Detroit wasn't even in that game. And that Dan Campbell, I think he's a hell of a coach, but you can only fucking when you get your guys ready to run through a wall for you, pretty soon those walls are going to take a toll, and you can't run through every fucking wall. There's no layups for that team. Yeah, and that's the problem, I think, with that team.
Funny thing about the Bears, they're already talking about trading Fields in the offseason and going somewhere else and moving on from him. So they're going to be shitty again next year with another rookie quarterback. But is that the right move? Okay, we're not going to be very good. It hasn't worked. What do we do?
The Bears are in a very nice position because they own Carolina's first-round pick, right?
That's bad. They're not good.
It's guaranteed to be a top 3 pick. It's damn near guaranteed. So that's capital, right? Someone might trade you 2 first rounds if they think they want Caleb Williams or whoever the flavor of the fucking month is, right? So Chicago is in a position here. If they make the right decisions, they can go forward because Justin Fields is showing what he showed the last half of last year. Very capable and can be the everyday quarterback, but he's had struggles with the offensive line. Chicago has a chance to turn the fortunes of that franchise around, but since the days of old Jim McMahon, they made the wrong decision at every fucking corner.
Pretty much every single.
Except for Smoking Jay Cutler. I liked fucking Smoking Jay. He had
the
talent.
only thing wrong with him was just everything.
It was his demeanor, right?
His demeanor wasn't the best. He had a fucking smoking hot wife. I mean, he's an NFL quarterback, so he's making good dough in it. But go hang yourself, man. Fucking, for life sucks that much. Just Fuck off.
He's aloof. He was aloof.
He's a different cat. There's no getting around that. Dave, so you said your fraudulent team. Who's your favorite? What do you got going on? Who's your favorite?
Well, I don't like once. It's always it's been Baltimore and San Fran for a couple weeks now, and I have no reason to change that. Like those teams, they play. I think if not next week, in 2 weeks, they play into the regular season here. That's going to be a ring-a-ding-dog dandy.
I changed. I'm not. My favorite was the Dallas Cowboys. I still think they're really good, but that San Francisco team, they just beat up on everybody. They just come in, we'll beat you. We'll beat you, and by a lot. Defense, offense, the whole thing. There's like, you know what? Fuck off. We're better than you. We're gonna win. And
I watched that
because McCaffrey didn't even score yesterday, and they still won by.
He scored the first run of the game. He went 75 yards on the first play of the game.
They manhandled that fucking that
Seattle team,
which is fraudulent. But like like, get out of here, just screw off. Yeah, no, they're.
I thought you were gonna call the 1-stars here. I thought you were gonna let them jump the.
No, we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. But I think that I just think that McCaffrey will be the difference maker in comparison on that team. I think Prescott's a better quarterback than Purdy, because I think Purdy benefits from everything that goes on around him. But Purdy's going to get a payday, so that they better win this year. You know what I mean? He's going to be one of those guys.
Well, they still got 2 years with Purdy, because
but you know what I mean. It's one of those things that you better when you're not paying your quarterback. Win now, because you know what? When you got to pay your guy, you ain't winning. You ain't winning.
KC got theirs last year, but like the proof's in the pudding right now. And Buffalo's definitely on the wrong side of the slope as far as progressing or regressing. Ooh. And one more thing though, Dak's getting his payday, but he's not making max bank because he signed his a while ago.
He gets franchised now, and like it's all the stuff and everything that's happened with him.
And is it just weird? Does Dak Prescott throw a football like he's digging a fucking ditch? He's just there's nothing aesthetically pleasing about watching that guy throw a football. And I don't know if it's because I don't know if it's a 1-star thing or what.
And I'm not a Cowboys apologist by any means, but I just think that they're on this problem there. Like I don't even think there's a fucking 1-star fucking sticker in the house here or anything. So I'm not a 1-star guy at all. But I think they got a chance. They got a really, really good chance to win this year. First time in a long time that you can actually say that they got a chance to do something, because they're going to win the division. Because the Giants stink and the Eagles stink, and the Eagles are so fraudulent. So
the Commodores didn't lose this week.
Well, the Commodores aren't very good either. I mean,
the Commodores had a bye.
Yeah,
so they were able to.
The best way to not lose, don't play.
Yeah, that was that's the jinx of all jinx of the 14-20. That's not that bad a team, man.
Yeah. That was about 6 weeks ago. And I had to see it. Every time you fucking say the team's not that bad, go back. We should go back in these episodes. I'll put them all together. I might be in first place by a lot. Oh, they're not that bad. They're not that bad. They're not that bad. Then I pick them the following week. They fucking lose every time. Anyways, who's your fuck that team for this week, David?
Well, I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna do a little bit of pod crime, and I'm sorry about this. And there's two guys. If you're listening, you don't know who I'm gonna say right now. But when you come out and lay a fucking egg after laying a fucking egg, so a double egg performance by the Philadelphia Eagles. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh. They got to be doing some navel gazing today because, 2 weeks ago you were 10-1 and now you're 10-3 and you lost to the two teams you must beat for A, the number one seed, and B, to get to the Super Bowl.
And lost, got stomped.
Oh, fucking punched in the face. And you look at it, and they're not as good defensively as they were last year. But I'm most concerned about their offense if I was a Philly fan. I don't know, like they say Hurts is a little dinged up. Then fucking sit that fucker now because now you've lost the number one seed. You're not going to get it. So honestly, sit them, put in whoever, and then and then fall to the 3 or 4 seed. Winning the conference isn't a big deal. Having Jalen Hurts 100% healthy and getting that race car ready to run is more important than anything else. If you guys even have a fucking sniff at getting back to the NFC Championship game, let alone winning the Super Bowl.
No, it's crazy to think like having 2 losses against, and they're 2 good teams they lost to, right? But they weren't competitive losses.
Yeah, but those are the 2 teams you got to beat, right, to get to the Super Bowl.
And that's the big thing for me is like when you lose, okay, you lose, whatever, it happens. But when you get fucking boot stomped like that, that's a bad look. Because confidence goes, right? Like Jesus Christ, and it's a big thing. So yeah, no, the Eagles they look bad, and Aaron posted something on Twitter last night. He must have been 45 beer deep there, or whatever it was.
Well, I hope they kept all the loaded guns and pill bottles away from him last night.
Yeah, he was a little upset last night with that whole ordeal. But yeah, it's they didn't look good 2 weeks in a row. They didn't, right?
But, and then if they want to get to the Super Bowl, they got to beat both those teams on the road now.
But the thing is, it's, and not that I'm going to say it's but it's hard to beat somebody twice, right? So that's one thing you can look at and say, well, we can make some adjustments and then have things going on. Like it's not do or die, but the Eagles are pretty. They look pretty bad. They look bad.
Yeah, there was nothing. Actually, what was that in the third quarter when they strip sacked Dak and ran that one in? They had a chance there, but then there was no answer. Dallas just controlled them again, and then Dak Prescott putted that ball down as CD and whoever. Fuck, it's like he shits his pants every time he throws the ball. Puts in so much fucking effort. I don't like his motion.
His mechanics.
No, his motion. He has such a wide, fat stance. I don't get it. But he's winning. He's putting together an argument to be an MVP.
My fuck that team is the Chicago Bears.
After a win.
Even after a win, I'm so fucking mad at them because 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, when my brother-in-law, he said that the Bears were going to win, and I just laughed it off. And then yesterday, they had another win yesterday, and I was like, okay, I should pick the Bears because you shouldn't pick Detroit this late in the season. And the Bears won again. And then next week, I know exactly what's going to happen. I don't even know who the Bears are playing. I'm going to pick the Bears to win, and they're going to fucking lose. So I'm a week ahead of time. Right now, I'm going to get it over with. Fuck the Chicago Bears. And just for my football pool alone is the only reason why I'm fucking the Bears, because I know I picked them next week and they're going to fucking lose by 106.
Do you have any idea who they're playing next week?
No.
Okay, but you're going for the reverse jinx. That's
I just know.
Yeah.
No, I just know that they're going to lose next week, and they fucking. I should have picked them twice, and like my brother-in-law said, pick them. I didn't. No, I just know that I'm going to get fucked by the Chicago Bears, and they fucked me that 2 weeks ago, and they fucked me till yesterday, and they're going to fuck me next week. So fuck the Chicago Bears. There it is.
Is there going to be any of the Greek machine at your place come Christmas, like on a football watching day? I would like to almost come by when you and the
they are. They're going to make their way out. So.
Here, I'm trying to find out. Oh, Chicago. Oh, it's a good one. Next week, Sunday, on the early game, Chicago and Cleveland. That's a pick 'em right now. Chicago's with Joe Flacco was able to take off his Depends to throw for 300 yards.
I heard like Flacco won yesterday, and he's not going to be active next week.
No,
that's what I heard.
I don't know.
Because I think Watson's back next week.
I honestly don't know, Brent. Like we'll have to.
I thought I read that.
I thought he, after Joe,
he had a big 300 plus yards yesterday.
That Delaware Blue Hen, he's not gonna. They're not gonna sit him after throwing for 300 and upsetting Texas. And that was an upset. Fuck. Well, I'll look it up. Tim.
It's the same situation with fucking Shane Falco and fucking replacements. We talked about twice now. Replacement made her appearance twice. The 1420 podcast just tonight. It's Falco. Yeah, Watson's coming in. Falco's out. Right, one of those deals. You watch.
Well, like I thought Flacco was in there because of three name was hurt. He's concussed. Why wouldn't they put Flacco in before the three name guy that won a game?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know Watson was done for the year. Yeah, I don't know either. Like, but
I don't follow the Browns that closely. I could have made that all up. But I read something about that they're putting Flacco back out to pasture.
Well, I don't know. And that's then that's.
When you get your news from fucking whatever the fuck I was reading today, like you just never know. Well,
you were sitting on the shitter going through Twitter is what you were doing. And you just don't check all your sources.
I don't got time to sit in the shitter and Twitter.
Well, where do you shit then?
No, I shit, but I don't Twitter on the shitter.
Come on.
I don't have time.
You're lying.
I know. I don't.
You never.
I do. I haven't. Like, I'm getting the house ready to go and move and everything. I don't have time for that. Ain't no time for that. Anyways, 14. That's it for NFL this week. How are you, Broncos? What's your confidence? What's your confidence level out of 10 right now with your Denver Broncos?
I'm not going to make any bold predictions because, like I've said time and time again, I am a big fan of the believer of the jinx. I said it 3 weeks ago. If Denver beats Detroit on the road, they're going to make the playoffs.
Kiss of death is coming.
That happens next week. So if Broncos win on Sunday on the road, third week in a row on the road. Thank you very much, NFL schedule makers. But we're dealing with it. When I say we, I mean the Denver Broncos are dealing with it. If they beat Detroit in Detroit this coming Saturday, it's a rare Saturday game. Then Denver makes the playoffs.
It's that time of year now because college football's done, and
and they don't compete with college or college or.
There's actually a broadcasting rights. There's a rule that they actually follow.
Yeah, I read an article about that not too long ago.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And now
it's in their antitrust thing and stuff like that.
That's good. That's good.
It makes sense, and it makes sense. Oh, speaking of college football. My University of Montana Grizzlies.
I watched that game actually.
Yeah, I missed it because it was on Friday night. Yeah. I knew they were playing on the weekend, so I ended up watching Villanova and South Dakota State. So Montana, the University of Montana will be home to North Dakota State this weekend in the FCS national semifinal game. So good luck, Grizz. Well, I guess that's going to happen on Thursday is where I can give my closer good luck. It's nice to see that program doing well. And
I watched that game. It was actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah. And then their first thing, I meant to point this out to Aaron a couple weeks ago too. The Blue Hens, that was in the FCS, they have the little bracket. Their first win was against the Delaware Blue Hens, alma mater of Joe take the depends off Flacco.
Because it was the North Dakota State against South Dakota, actually.
Yeah, that was the red one. Yeah, the red field. How does South Dakota State afford a dome stadium?
Well, it's probably seats 4,000. But I'm not being racist at all. But I like, because at the end we were doing some things, whatever, before we went to the Christmas party there, and I said, North Dakota State versus South Dakota. How long is before we're going to see a black person on television? It took a while. That was the whitest football game I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, not in the field, but
there was a few. Yeah, but it was a white football game. It was quite fun.
Did you see that any of that Villanova North Dakota State then game? Like it was blowing a million miles an hour. Like it was. No. The stadium looked like it. I don't know how much it holds. Let's say if it held 10,000, there was 600 people there.
One of those.
It was windy. It was so windy. The flags were thing, and it was on the Fahrenheit scale, they said it was 20. And so a million mile an hour wind with with that kind of temperature. Everybody that was there was in a parka.
No, we've been quite fortunate here. Like yeah. But
it looked just awful, miserable. Like I wouldn't have gone to that game. You definitely have to pay me to go to that.
No, I'm at an age now, like even like a baseball game, like if it's raining, no, I'm not going. If I paid for tickets, I'm still like, and I flew, like I'm good. I'll find a way to go, and I'll sit in a suite or something, or not a suite, but you know what I mean. Like I'll find somewhere to take it in. But yeah, I'm not. If the weather's adverse, I'm not going.
If it's cold, I'll go. I have the gear for cold, and I can be honestly, I can be comfortable for 6 hours outside.
If it's cold, I'll go by myself.
Yeah,
I don't want to go with everybody else because I got my old work shit. I'll get all dressed up. Fuck whatever. I will go by myself.
Yeah,
if it's cold, I'm not going with anybody else though because I don't want to hear bitching for 2.5, 4, 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever. Fuck, it's cold. Fuck, I wish I would bring it. Yeah, you should wear better boots. I ain't going. If it's cold, I'm not going with anybody else. No way.
I hear you, but even like if it's cold and windy, I'm staying home.
I ain't going.
Fuck that. There's nothing worse than the wind. I can dress for cold. Yeah, I can not dress for hot, but when it's cold and windy, it fucking sucks.
Yeah, no, it's fucking terrible. And then
if anybody knows cold and windy, it's us Southern Albertans.
There it is. Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, NFL Week 14 review brought to you by SeatGeek.com. The SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com and get yourself $20 off your first purchase of your football tickets, concert tickets, show tickets, whatever you want to do over there at SeatGeek. Stocking stuffers.
Stockings need stuffing. And and that's a thing in our I'm having problems finding things to stuff in my wife's stocking, and she's having problems finding stuff to put in my stocking too. So we got to have a stocking stuffer brain session, and it's not working. What do you like stuffed in your stocking?
I just like the stuff that I'll buy on my own, but just like some candies. I don't mind some candies in there. And then, but deodorants.
Do you put a mandarin orange in your stuff? In your
my sister, like when we had Christmas at my sister's place, she puts a mandarin orange in it. Like I like a mandarin orange. My dad could eat a box of those fuckers. He would like old Stevie boy. He'd sit there at the house on 22nd Street, Fort McLeod, a box of mandarin oranges. He'd eat the whole thing, man. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I couldn't
like peanuts while he's watching the game.
Nothing. Peel it and remember the game you peel it all and try getting one.
Oh yeah, bing, the bing, elephant tusk. Yeah.
One. Bing. Another one. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. I miss the mandarin oranges. I don't know if it's because of my age or my taste buds or what. They're just not as good as I remember when they had it in the green tissue paper and all that.
Oh, I miss that.
You could only get them at Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, love the mandarin orange. I still like it. I don't dislike it, but they don't have the same. I'm so old. I remember when they had them in a wood box.
Oh yeah. We'll have to have you over for an eggnog on the 23rd. I think we're gonna have a little gathering of sorts over at the new place there on the 23rd. So
well, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, is it going to be mandarin oranges?
There'll be mandarin oranges. There'll be lots of mandarin oranges for sure. Anyways,
I'll eat one for Steve Areno.
Well, here we go. 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer Sports talking a whole lot more. Mandarin orange.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast is happy to have teamed up with Rucket Sports just in time for the holiday season. With golf, baseball, softball, lacrosse, and soccer training accessories, Rucket Sports has all the home or gym training gear you will ever need. Each product is designed to stand up to the most rigorous practice elements. Use promo code 1420RUCK at checkout and receive 10% off your purchase at Rucket Sports. Rucket Sports was founded by athletes for athletes, and all their products are engineered to the highest standards and come with our fair play guarantee and a lifetime warranty. Go to Rucket.com and look for holiday gift ideas for
for the weekend warrior or the serious athlete in your life today. Once again, that's 1420RUJK for 10% off at checkout. When you purchase from Rugged, you come to win. 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, more beer, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Dave, the hockey season, it's in full bore. Every team's pretty much 20, 25 games in, so a third of the season is basically done. Things got a little bit testy. The Grinch came out. Christmas cheer was not being spread around the NHL hockey arenas this weekend. There was 3 or 4 flat out dirty hits, dirty plays that the NHL is going to be looking at for suspensions, everything else happening. I think one guy already got, I can't remember the guy's name for Detroit. He got himself a 2-game little pre-Christmas hiatus for cross-checking a guy in the face on Saturday night. But the NHL has a major problem. And we talked about it, I think, almost a year ago, where the players, because they're the skill level so high and they skate at such a high pace compared to what they used to, and there's no real enforcers out there anymore. There's a lot going on a night-to-night basis in the National Hockey League that wouldn't have happened 30 years ago. Well, even 20 years ago. Let's go back to when we were 18, 19 years old. Let's go back 20 years. The stuff that's happening on a nightly basis would not have happened in the National Hockey League 20 years ago.
When you say wouldn't have happened, you mean like
the hits from behind, the cross check in the face.
And you know what I don't like about this shit? Like, there was one in the Columbia-Florida game, and there was one. I don't know what laid out that guy in Detroit, but then the other Detroit guy just cross checked a guy in the face. And then there was the other one. There was 3 of them, but so let's just talk about those 2. These are just
so let's start with the Kane one. I got it right here for you. The Kane hit. He got punched in the face. He got a tackle. But what happened was early in the Minnesota Wild game on Friday night, Kane went behind and he hit a guy from behind, crumpled the guy like Rita McNeil in a lawn chair for no reason whatsoever. Just hit a guy from behind instead of just rubbing him out. I don't. And then Kane's a tough guy. He can take care of himself. So no getting around that. But because Kane knows nobody on Minnesota is going and there's not going to be any retribution towards him, that stuff kind of happens, right? Whereas back 20 years ago, and let's not even talk about the days when you had the goon on the bench. There were guys that would take care of that shit. You had guys like Wendell Clark who could score goals and plus punch you in the face. Like that stuff wouldn't have happened. It did, but there was some retribution for that kind of shit happening.
You're right, and then like you said, Kane can handle his own business as well, right? But that one, it was dirty, but it wasn't. It was from behind, but it wasn't. He knew what he was doing. He knew he was hitting a guy from behind. He went kind of low and pushed him up. It wasn't like he was charging and fucking fly papering him on the wall there, right? It was cheap and dirty, but it wasn't. There was no attempt to injure on that one, I don't think.
Like the one thing I think you're bringing up is the Gabranson one with who was
no, sorry, like the one in Detroit where the guy just cross checked him in the face. Where
because Dylan Larkin went down, he went down for there's a punch in the back of the head, and he went down right in front of the net, and then over to the side of the net. Right there was we're watching here
now
on YouTube.
Now this guy's just standing there,
and he got a cross check right in the chick.
That is fucking chicken shit.
There is no need for that kind of stuff whatsoever. There's no need to ever have that. There's zero. Like once you get the stick work involved, if you punch somebody, you punch somebody. And I had an old hockey coach tell me once, if you think you're tough by doing that, you're not tough. Like if you think you're tough, you're not, because you know what's tough is the guy who gets up and beats the shit out of you for doing that to you. You know what's tough is hitting a guy into the fifth row. That's tough, right? And doing it cleanly.
And it was like, who was the guy on the ice? Dylan Larkin?
Larkin was the guy who fell down. He got punched. There was a skirmish in front of the net. or skirmish, I guess it's a bit not skirmish in front of the net, and he kind of got punched. And we were watching it over to the keg on Saturday night there before we went down to the Christmas party, and he got punched. And it was just it seemed harmless. And then Larkin was on the ice, and then Strome was the one who cross-checked the Ottawa Senator right in the face. Like, what the fuck just happened here? Like the Larkin going down, it was odd. It was really an odd situation. Like the guy's, I shouldn't say obviously because I'm not a doctor, I play one on TV, but he went down. It was like it was a skirmish in front of the net that happens all the time, and he just kind of went down.
Yeah, was like did he?
I thought he was done. Like he was just done. Like it was scary because he was spread eagle on the ice, face down.
Well, yeah, I know. Was there someone behind the grassy knoll? Like, holy shit!
That's what it looked like. It looked really bad, and so you can't really blame Strome for. Well, you can't. You should never cross-check someone in the face. But Strome, his initial reaction was, "My captain's on the ice. He's out cold. Someone must have done something to him. So I'm gonna. So there's gonna be some retribution.
I'm gonna fucking yeah.
I'm gonna do something, right?" And that was a bad one. It was actually really quite bad, and you just wonder, like, there's so much. It's odd because you never should have the penalty, the suspension, the penalty on the ice match what the act was. Like if you slash a guy across the back of the head, a helmet's there, he's not going to get cut. You slash a guy across the front of the face, he's going to lose 15 teeth and fucking get cut for 105.
Well, and that's the thing. Right? That's such a fake tough guy thing. That's not standing up for your teammate. Fuck, you can break a guy's jaw, you can cost him his whole front teeth, and like if you're so bad, fucking give him one right in the chest or in the shoulders. Drop your gloves and make it something. But cross-checking a guy that's not ready for it, like was it a Senator? Who were they playing there?
Ottawa, I believe. Yeah.
He was standing there. He wasn't protecting himself. He wasn't ready for that. That's just absolute fucking chicken. That's fake tough guy shit. And that bothers me a lot. And then the next one too, the Columbus, Florida one. This is
you sent me the guys from Barn Burner. They were talking about this hit, and I thought this hit was very very dirty. I thought it was 100%. I like in live time. I didn't think Frank Cervelli. They changed from a 5 to a 2. I think they were 100% wrong because I thought that this hit was 100% dirty. That was from behind. Yes, it could have. It was a split-second reaction. On it goes, and Gabranson came up, and he came up swinging and decided, I'm going to punch this guy in the face. Because the referee aren't going to do it. But to me, that one's a dirty hit, man. To me, that one, that's going to be. If they keep allowing that to happen and the referees don't stop down on that and don't do some of that, you're going to see guys getting taken on stretchers. You're going to see guys getting taken out and not being able to walk ever again. Because that one, to me, that was the dirtiest one of the bunch all weekend long. And yes, it was like they were talking on Barn Burner there that it was close to being a really clean hit, but it's close to being a disastrous hit. But you got to get away from that being the disastrous hit. These guys are going so fucking fast, man. You can't have that going on. And then the way that chicken shit, I can't remember the guy's name that turtled there, but he turtled twice later on when Goodbranson went after him a little bit. He turtled twice, and then nothing happened. He got punched in the back of the head like Bertuzzi did to Moore back in 2003 or whatever that year was. It's bad. Like when these guys don't have any recourse for their actions, you're going to see this if the referees aren't taking care of it, and if the NHLPA isn't taking care of it. We talk about the Players Association and the player safety thing. They don't seem to know what they're doing, in my opinion.
No, I 100% agree. Right? They've taken the self-policing part of the NHL out of the game, and I'm not even talking about fights and line brawls. What I'm talking about is players being responsible for their own safety. Like back in the day, these Scott Stevens hits and what have you, the predatory hits, the Rafi Torres hits. I get it. I understand that. I understand it. I miss those hits, but if this game wasn't, if these guys weren't so fast, then I would still like to see those kind of hits. Take care of yourself. Don't put yourself in danger, right? You know, I don't go fucking hiking in the woods with a pepperoni stick dragging on a string behind me, right? You know, I like, I got my bear scare in Bells, but I'm also fucking dragging pepperoni behind me.
Yeah.
I might get in trouble. If I'm fucking dangling and looking down and trying to make fools of everybody, I'm gonna get in someone's train tracks, and they are gonna fucking clean me out.
There's still those guys who learned hockey, and hockey's different now. Like you have the academy kids, the skilled kids, everything else. The more Europeans, I shouldn't say that, but because the Canadians play like Europeans, I'm not besmirching Europeans, but it's just when you talk about it wasn't as tough as it was 20 years ago, right? How Europeans were, and Canadian players aren't as tough, but you still have those Canadian kids and American kids who play with an edge because they're bigger and they can hit a little bit and they're strong and they found a way to keep themselves relevant and be in the league, and they're big dudes who can hit. And when we talk about like what Tom Brady talked about a few weeks back about the NFL and quarterbacks passing to receivers up the middle, and then you hear about how John Tortorella talked last week about these guys don't know how to take hits anymore. The game's just different, but you still have guys who play with that edge that players played with 30 years ago, and that's going to get somebody hurt severely. And if the NHL doesn't want to take care of it, the players have to. Now you have players who are losing money, getting suspended because the league won't buckle down on some things. It's someone's going to get hurt really badly, and I don't know what you do and how to fix it, because you're not going to. If a guy gets suspended, it's like whatever. It's like they lose the game checks, but they don't care. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know either, because, you know, when we say someone's going to get really hurt, and is that because someone's getting hurt because they're making rules to prevent players from getting hurt? They don't know how to hit. They don't know how to protect themselves from a hit. You know, that hit with Gabranson on the boards, I get it, but the NFL, they sent that replay. They originally called a 5-minute major.
They changed it to a 2.
And they changed it to a 2 because I don't think the intent was there. And that Gabranson, the Blue Jacket guy, he knew that guy was there, right? So set yourself up to be ready for the hit, instead of saying, well, he can't hit me here because then he's going to have to hit me from behind. When a guy's coming at me, like, there has to be some point where a player has to think about self-preservation. And that Gabranson didn't give him any chance of self-preservation. He forced that guy to hit him in the back. What's he supposed to do? Honestly, what is he supposed to do when a guy's charging hard? Is he supposed to hit the brakes and say, go around the net at full speed? No. The Gabranson has to have the self-awareness. If I go through this, I'm going to get fucking creamed.
Like, what was
where's the line?
The dirtiest thing about that whole thing was, like, okay, Gabranson, he went down and he was hurt, like, or he was scared. He was
hurt, yeah, exactly. Right? Hurt for like scared. 0.5 seconds.
Like, he was scared. He went, oh fuck, this should hurt. And then it didn't hurt, and he popped up and was going to go and
wanted to fight.
Carlson, I think his name was. So he went and punched him in the back of the head, and which is shitty. And tried to fight him, and the guy wouldn't fight, turtled, which is whatever. And then later on, when he got back on the ice, I should remember this kid's name. We'll keep calling him Carlson. And then Carlson, no, it's Cousins. It was Cousins.
Yeah,
Cousins. Later on, they were going down into the end there. And Gabranson grabbed him by the head, threw him down, and kept punching him back ahead like Bertuzzi did to Moore back, whatever year, 2003, whatever that year that was, the Canucks Avalanche thing. And that kind of not ended Bertuzzi's career, but it kind of pushed Bertuzzi's career into a different scope, right? And so what's a dirtier play? Like Gabranson jumping on that guy, punching him back of the head, or that hit that was a hockey play gone awry? Right.
I would say the latter. Right?
Exactly.
Because like what are you doing, Gabranson? Like it's
You're mad. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, but like grabbing a guy from behind, throwing him to the ice, and his like haymakers. Like he wasn't tapping him; he was punching him as hard as he could on the back of the head. I get it; he has a helmet, but still, like you
never know, right?
You're making an absolute fucking fool of yourself. I don't know what you're trying to prove. And I hope he gets at least 5 games, because that's absolute garbage. Like, be as butthurt as you want. You put yourself in danger. You knew the hit was coming, and you were absolutely fine when it was all said and done.
Yeah.
We are playing this game, and now you're gonna go fake tough guy because you're bigger than that guy.
That's a good thing. A great point, Dave. You're fine. You're fine.
You're fine.
Nothing's wrong with you. Your butt hurt. You got hit. Yeah, it could have been dangerous, 100%. But every time you jump in a car, something could be dangerous, right? So you don't overreact when it comes to that. Like you were fine. It was a shitty hit, a shitty situation that you had with Cousins there, but it's over. Like it's over. And then you know what? And what you did twice was actually Cousins should have maybe bucked up a little bit, maybe dropped
the first time.
Then it would have been over, right?
Yeah,
it would have been over. And because that's the code of hockey, whether that's the right thing or not, who knows? But it's good. Branson looks like the dickhead here when he didn't need to be. I know he won't give a fuck what we say or what anybody says, because that's how these guys are. But good Branson looked like the bigger wiener in the whole situation than Cousins did when it comes down to it.
Yeah, totally. Like he's being selfish, right? Like. You're fine. You're fine.
You're fine.
That's and we joked about it like a month or two ago. That Cousins kid, sorry, my bad. Like there was no intent there, because if there was intent, he would have slowed up and then fly papered him on the wall, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't. He was making a play for the puck, and it's his goddamn job to fucking cut you off. My only
kicker with it, Dave, is that when a player doesn't get hurt, the penalty is less every time, and that shouldn't be the rule of the land, right? Because the I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to word it, but like if a guy doesn't get hurt, or the guy doesn't get maimed, then there's a lesser penalty when it comes to sports. I don't know if that's the way it should go.
Well, then think about it this way. Like, right? say I want to kill you in real life, and you're out there, and I shoot a gun at you. Like, so if I miss you, like, so what is that?
Well, there it is. Exactly.
And then I hit you in the leg. What is that? And then I put one through your heart. What is that?
Attempted murder.
Yeah, one. There's attempted murder and there's a chair. Like, so
manslaughter or whatever.
Where do we land on that? Like, I only hit him in the leg, but you meant to hit him in the head.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I don't know.
Just because you're a bad shot doesn't mean you should have a lesser penalty.
Yeah, and then so now what are we punishing in the NHL? Are we punishing the intent? Because the intent of that Cousins on Gabranson. On the first hit, there was no intent to hurt, to maim, to kill.
Good Branson on Cousins, there was intent to hurt.
You bet. And same with that Detroit one, where that Detroit guy came in and smashed the guy in the face. I don't think that the guy he smashed in the face was the one who even knocked Larkin from the grassy knoll, right? Like,
no.
I don't know.
That Larkin grassy knoll, like that play happened. I'm watching the Flames Avalanche game right now. That play happens 100 times a game. And I don't know. Like I said, we were watching it at the Keg that night, and he just there was a little pop in the back of the head, and it wasn't violent. He just fell.
Like, was he trying to draw a penalty, or like was like?
No, he was out. He was out.
Okay.
It was odd, but that play happens 100 times a game, and it was just one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that one guy paid the price, and he was just like, "What the fuck's going on here?" And then all of a sudden, I have to fucking eat some titanium in my teeth. Like,
and now he's literally spitting chiclets probably that night. Yeah. No, I don't know if having enforcers would stop that, but it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt to have the odd guy around to give the old tap on the laces saying fuck around and find out.
Or yeah, and just a little bit of let him play, right? Like, if you come into those high danger zones, be ready for danger, right? Yeah. Don't jump into deep water if you can't fucking swim. If you want to snipe and dangle, do it when it's not crowded, because when it's crowded, there's a lot of big boys in the back that know how to fucking put you in your place. We're not going to let you walk into the slot and rip one up. I'm going to put my fucking ass in your hip. Yeah. And knock you out. I'm gonna put my shoulder on your fucking chin.
Well, you watch, you listen to those guys at Barn Burner a lot, the Calgary guys there. And Rhett Warner, he wasn't the most skilled guy. He was a big physical defenseman, and he would throw his shoulder through a guy's fucking nose. Not dirty, but by any means. But he was a solid big guy from, I think, Shaunavon, Saskatchewan. One of those guys that would say, you know what? I'm gonna play hard, I'm gonna play clean, but you know what? Fuck around and find out. And the way he talks and the way he talks about how things used to be, it's cool to listen to, because like that's a guy like him would,
it's perspective.
A guy like him would still be playing in the league. You know what I mean? Like he would still be playing. Like he's obviously too old to play now, but he'd still have a place in the league that the respect and everything else. Okay, you know what? I'm not dirty, but you know what? I'm playing to win. And I'm going to play. He was a great player. He's a really good player.
You bet. Like he went to 3 Stanley Cup finals, right? So he's not. You're not winning a cup because he's on it, but every cup winner has guys like him.
Those guys, and his perspective of talking with that, like you know what, that was shitty, and that was one of those things. But you listen to those older school guys, and they get it. Right, they understand it, and I don't think that a lot of these younger guys, I don't think they get it. They don't get it.
And he mentions this all the time. The skill level is off the charts. It's something I haven't ever seen or witnessed with my time in the league. But this accountability and just this being allowed to dangle and do all this shit without having to pay a physical price.
They're better players, but they don't know how to play the game.
Right, and then when you
and that's huge, and that's in all sports.
Yeah, exactly. Like now that like we're playing a skills competition as opposed to the actual fucking game, right?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Anyway, let's get to some who is better and get the hell out of here for the night. Ready to go?
Sounds good. Yep.
Who is better? Cam Newton, kind of been put to pasture a little bit, or Cameron Diaz?
Cameron Diaz. Cam Newton refused to dive on that fumble in the Super Bowl against my Denver Broncos, the Von Miller-led a Peyton Manning quarterbacked team. Cameron Diaz, I liked her. I never loved her. I liked her. That fucking Something About Mary was a funny movie, though. That made me laugh.
I never saw it.
Oh, really?
I regret it. I've heard nothing. Like I'm not a movie guy, but yeah, I've heard nothing but always.
Yeah, give that one a watch, and she's she's sexy and cute and everything like that, but she's also funny, and that's what I like, and I think Cam Newton's Cam Newton's the football player we just talked about, right? He wanted to get all the highlights. He wanted to run, but he didn't want to get hit, and he certainly wasn't diving on a fucking fumble in the Super Bowl.
I'm going to call this one a draw. The first time in 14-20, who is better lore, because Cam Newton, he went Super Bowl, he had a good college career the whole bit. But Cameron Diaz had a great career, probably some very funny movies. But she allowed A-Rod to touch her, so I'm going to call this one a draw. They both had some high points in their lives, but they both had some low points in their careers. So I'm going to call this one a draw.
You're kicking her off guilt by association.
Cameron Diaz, and it might have been a bad decision. Might have been a bad week, but she fed A-Rod popcorn during Super Bowl one year. I remember that one.
I remember that as well. Yeah.
So I'm calling this one a draw. Dave, who is better? Jake Browning, 2-0 as a starter for the Cincinnati Bengals, or Jake the Snake Roberts?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jake the Snake Plumber. Jake Browning or Jake the Snake Roberts really holds a special place in my heart due to my younger days in the WW when it was WWF. It was quite funny, and I remember how Kamala was just scared spitless of his old snake there.
Yeah.
Jake. I'm going to have to say Jake the Snake Roberts because his name and shtick has stood the test of time. And then he also went down a bad path and made it back. Well, when I say made it back, he's recovered. And he's a testament to how you can come
out of
back.
depths of despair.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I'm going to give this one Jake the Snake Roberts because of the joy he gave me in my youth.
No, he was great. Like I remember when he took that fucking guitar to the head from the honky tonk man. He says it was kind of made him all fucked up and got him on the road to drugs and everything else. There's a lot more going on there, but no, Jake Browning. I think he's playing himself into an NFL starting job somewhere else next year. Right? It's one of those things. Like he's obviously not going to be a Bengal next year because.
Depending on contract situations and whatever, but he's not going to be starting.
But he's putting up some numbers. Got a couple of wins now, so yeah, it's a nice story. But Jake Snake is something there. Another one here.
But like you said too, I really dig the shit that Jake Browning. Like he's proving that he's a quarterback, and maybe he never got this a chance because he was a low draft pick, right?
The numbers he put up, we talked about last week, the numbers he's put up no matter where he's played, high school to college to everything. Out
of college, what's the difference between him and Tom Brady? A chance, right?
A chance.
Drew Bledsoe doesn't.
The right guy gets hurt.
Yeah.
Right. The right guy. And that's all how Bledsoe got hurt. Brady jumped in.
Could you fucking imagine if Cincy wins the Super Bowl? They don't lose a game from here. And then what do you do? What do you do if you're Cincinnati and Browning is the Super Bowl MVP? Now what do you do? You got to let him go because you got fucking $40 million a year.
It's the third time tonight. Fucking the replacements, man. You got to go with the plug. You got to go with the plug. Go with who got you there. You got to go with Shane Falco, no matter what. 3 times tonight. Go with Falco.
I guess you could probably trade Joe Burrow.
That money though,
but that talent too. Like Burrow did nothing wrong. Joe Burrow is way better than Drew Bledsoe.
The best ability is availability.
And maybe they might have Browning under contract for another year, right? So they can trade him.
Yeah,
that's a sexy piece of football real estate right now.
Did the fucking Giants win?
I believe so because they're fucking. I was looking.
Yeah, they're dancing and he's smiling at. Oh Jesus, fuck.
Danny DeVito. So what do you do with this smelt now? He's like won 3 in a row.
You got to play him.
Yeah. What?
They're paying him nothing.
And Tyrod Taylor was a little butthurt that he didn't get his starting job as the backup to Danny Dimes. And now you got this fucking smelt fucking just going out there and winning games.
You know, that football movie, The Replacements, it's corny as fuck. But I tell you what, there's a little bit of fucking truth to that one. Go with who got you there. Keep going with the fucking stud. Keep going with
ride the hot hand.
Yeah. A couple more here, Dave. Who is better? Lee Majors, the $1 Million Man, or Golf Hall of Famer Lee Trevino?
Lee Majors by a country fucking mile. The $1 Million Man. The Fall Guy was a great movie too. I love those both. I thought Lee Majors was
The
awesome.
Fall Guy. I forgot about the Fall Guy. That was a very good show. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was kind of my guy. Like when you first got
I should have done a little research, but the blonde girl who always hung out with like the Fall Guy and
wasn't that one of the Heathers? Wasn't it
Heather Thomas?
I believe so. Yeah, it wasn't
Lochner. It would have been Heather Thomas. Yeah.
I could be wrong because no, I think Heather Thomas was T.J. Hooker with William.
All those shows. Adrian
But nonetheless, there was always so Lee Majors was the guy, and there was a cute blonde that was his sidekick, second, whatever. But no, give me Lee Trevino. That's just another fucking golfer, right? Lee Trevino, Payne Stewart, Marco Mira. I don't give a fuck. Those guys are all just cookie cutters. I could give a shit.
One more, maybe two. Who is better, Christian McCaffrey or Sister Christian?
One-hit wonders are a wonderful thing, and Sister Christian, it was a hell of a hit. I actually remember I was traveling solo.
I still do this day. I hate that song.
I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan when I bought that album with my Aunt Joan. So I remember that clearly. And then it was the summer between grade 9 and 10 for me. So I won't designate a year for you, but do the math. And it was also, I put that away in the memory banks until Boogie Nights. And I love that fucking movie. Have you seen Boogie Nights?
Oh, yeah.
And so with the firecracker scene and shit like that was epic. That was a great scene. But who is it? Was it
Christian McCaffrey?
Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's so much better. He's going to break records. If it would have been Christian Laettner, it would have been Christian Laettner by a landslide.
Laettner's won more than McCaffrey has.
Oh, you bet he has.
Right.
I'm a dookie, so are you. So I love fucking Christian Laettner.
Yeah.
Hit the biggest shot in basketball history.
That was crazy. 91? Was it 91?
Yeah. Yeah. It was right around there. I was
90. It was 90.
I was at an indoor soccer tournament in Calgary with the university team. Yeah.
Last one, we'll call her a night here. Who is better? Rob Gronkowski, or Rob Schneider?
Oh, Rob Gronkowski. I can't fucking stand Schneider. I think his act is so played. It's the same fucking joke every fucking time. He peaked at Saturday Night Live. Steve making copy guy. That's it.
I shouldn't even brought that up. He's a nozzle.
He's an absolute nozzle. I don't know how the fuck that guy even has a goddamn career. He obviously pleased the right guys back in Saturday Night Live. Pleased the right guys. Adam Sandler, because Adam Sandler were throwing at things something here. But he's shameless. He's not funny, and that's it. I don't get Rob Schneider. I never have. But Steve, the copy guy, was funny. I will say that.
Yeah, I can only play Schneider in a few different movies here and there, whatever. Man.
The Animal, and then as bit parts in Adam Sandler movies. But yeah, I don't get him. David
Gronk's
Spade,
a bit much for me too.
Yeah, but at least he's self-made and is good at what he does.
Yeah. Anyways, what do you Christmas season? You guys must be busy delivering and moving and
no. Just work is just steady right now. It's just steady. We're at a good pace. We got a lot of the things right now where people building their houses who want to be in by Christmas. So there's a little bit of rush for shit like that because those are more the high end customers that take a little bit of time. But paying the bills, just making them happy.
You know what? Got guys like that, Dave. You know what kind of gum we like? Fuck them.
But you know, gotta keep chewing that gum though, right? So
I know.
Yeah, it's what you do.
I know. What else?
Fuck, that's about it. You know, that just looking for stocking stuffers, trying to fucking just dot the I's and cross the T's, get to Christmas, and then maybe I can help a buddy move here, there, if they need some fucking shit done. That's all I'm here. I'm just fucking here to help. That's all I do anymore, man. I'm just here to help.
At that stage of life, I'm here to help and start pleasing the masses. One
just keep the kids off the streets and helping my boys.
There we go.
That's what I'm here for.
That's all I got. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer Sports Talk and a whole lot more. Take care of yourself, but more importantly, take care of yourself. See you around. Can you stick on the ice? What else, Dave?
I don't want to see Jim swing at high pitches, but I do want to see Jim in 2 weeks.
You'll see Jim probably 2 weeks Saturday. You'll see Jim, his smiling face, throw it over into our new shack. So a lot of fun. Anyways. Have a good night, folks. We'll talk to you on Thursday night.
Night, everybody.
Yeah.